Hey everybody, welcome to Game Day View. Patrick Claybon back here with Greg Rosenthal and Cynthia Freeland. We've done it. We've done 17 weeks of picks. We have categorized all of it. It is all documented, and folks are still coming in saying, we're picking better. So we want the full season of their picks, Greg. That's
okay, I mean, I don't know who's picking better than this guy all season, but this week we'll test you. Week 18s are funky. Our team's even trying. Who knows? This separates the great pickers from everyone else.
Sure.
Does your model know who's even playing?
I mean, to the best of the communicated information, yes. But then the problem is sometimes they play or they start and they play like 2 series, then they sit, and that makes everything crazy. So,
It's a great week for a lot of people who sit there every single week saying, who wants it more? Well,
who wants it more?
This time it actually
we do.
Might actually matter. Greg led in the picks last week, going 10-6. He's actually won the week 3 times since Thanksgiving. So Greg Rosenthal is heating up. These are our season-long standings. I've still reluctantly got the crown perched kind of to the side. Hiding the bald spot there. Well, 165 and 90, 158 and 97 for Greg, and 161 and 94 for Cynthia. I have come up short a few times on this show, and by a few, I mean every single season that I've been able to be with this incredible duo. Someone who needs some help might just say, Patrick, you're due for a win.
Whoa.
Maybe now's the time. Maybe they're saying the same for Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers.
Williams looking left, Williams looking right, Williams U-turns, gets away from Huff, still looking, backpedaling, throws, and complete! The ball game is over! And the 49ers have won it! They come spilling onto the field. It is raucous here in Levi Stadium, and the 49ers are 1 game away from the 1 seed in the NFC.
Yes, just like you heard it, the playoff picture in the NFC comes down for that 1 seed to the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers, and they will square off Saturday night in Santa Clara. The winner clinches the NFC West plus the 1 seed. It's huge. Who gets that honor, Greg?
I think the Seahawks have been the best defense in the NFL all season long, even better than the Houston Texans, and that defense carries the day in a great matchup, 27-24. If you remember, the 49ers won it the first time around all the way back in week 1, and watching that highlight, I still think there could be some magic in San Francisco, but not this Saturday night. Reek Woolen and Devin Witherspoon and Julian Love and Nick Imanwari, they haven't been all healthy very often at the same time this season, and now that they are, I think Julian Love is kind of the extra little something special on top of everything who can take advantage of the opposition's mistakes. And Brock Purdy's decision-making has been great, but we're not sure about Trent Williams in this game. I think he could be under pressure, maybe 1 too many aggressive throws that the Seahawks pick off.
I have Seahawks winning as well. I have 1 fewer point than you. 26-24 is my number. And I want to talk about something that Caleb Williams showed us against this defense. And it's what happens when pieces, even more pieces, I should say, of the defense are missing. They play a ton of nickel. They play a ton of cover 4. What does cover 4 mean? Well, obviously, it's a zone concept where you have different assignments, basically. And the difference between a Robert Saleh zone versus other people is that there's a lot of decisions that must be made. So when an Upton Stout goes out, then you can find areas where Luther Burden can slip in. Upton Stout might not be playing in this one. That cover 4 and the confusion factor I'm just looking at that. I just wanted to show an area where Sam Darnold's going to have to be very, very careful, because I know that they're going to get Diamador Lenore. He said he wanted Jackson Smith and Jigba, and that's what keeps it closer.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, those cover 4 principles are very interesting.
It's good to want things and to want a competitive matchup. We're not competitive here on this pick. I have the Seattle Seahawks as well. We're all basically the same score.
Do you want to switch?
I've got the same score as Greg.
I
don't feel good about this. We're doubting the 49ers.
Yeah, and it is concerning
No.
because as Cynthia frequently notes, Kyle Shanahan does have a relationship with revealing information that may ultimately not necessarily be related to the truth.
He's a lying liar who lies.
Okay, and I think that's a factor that's helpful in terms of play calling, and maybe he and Robert Saleh deliver a spectacular performance. But to talk about the players on the Seahawks, 1,637 receiving yards for JSN, the fourth most by a 23-year-old. The three guys ahead of him, 2022 Justin Jefferson, 1995 Isaac Bruce, and who can forget that 2013 Josh Gordon season? JSN is spectacular. I got to go with the Jimmies and the Joes in this one, and for years, that's been the 49ers. It's the Seahawks now, guys. So we'll see.
You just wanted to say Josh Gordon on the show.
Yes.
I applaud
That was good.
Guilty.
That was good.
As Sharks. It's time for the feel-good story of the week, presented by Geico. Brock Purdy has solved quarterbacking, guys. He's got 10 touchdowns in the last 2 games. Will he have more or less than 1.5 passing touchdowns against Seattle?
I think he has more than 1.5 passing touchdowns. And we see the Dougie, which is what that dance was. I have verification on that, which was very important to me. But I'm looking at not necessarily a deep throw like this one, but perhaps something smaller to Christian McCaffrey in short yardage situations. That looks to me like one of the easier paths for him to score these 2 touchdowns. But again, we have scores in the 20s, which means touchdowns, and I believe they come through the air.
So let's go to the other battle in the NFC. The NFC South comes down to one game, kinda. If the Carolina Panthers win, they clinch a spot in the playoffs, or they could lose and become Falcons fans for the game against the Saints. As for Tampa Bay, they need a win, and they need the Falcons to lose, which is something that they've had some difficulty causing personally the past couple of seasons. So let's talk about this Panthers-Bucks game. These teams played just a couple of weeks ago. Carolina won by 3. Who do you think wins round 2, Cynthia?
I don't feel great about it, but I have the Bucs winning this game. I have a score of 25-21, which means not only do they win, but they win by more than the number. It's all about the short passes for me because Baker Mayfield, not a doctor, this is something we've established all season long, but perhaps something ain't right because when you're looking at what happens when he throws deep, it isn't good. But when you look at what happens when he throws short, that was where all of his production came against the Dolphins. Perhaps he's not able to step into it. I don't know. I'm not, again, not a doctor. I did do a little bit of time in medical school, so hey, there you go, humble brag
Just
right there.
as a side quest.
Just as a side quest, dropped out. It was terrible. Still have to pay for it. But I'm looking at the opportunity for Baker Mayfield to use those shorter passes. He has the receiving core that includes Mike Evans, a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer. So it just feels to me, I don't feel good about this one, but I think they win.
I don't know what to think about this game, but I want mess. I want that Saints-Falcons game on Sunday to decide the championship. And it's Gene Deckerhoff, the great play-by-play man for the Bucs' last season.
Yep.
So they're going to send him out in style with a win in this game because of some of those old heads that Gene's been announcing for years. I'm talking about Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And how about some of the new guys, too? Jalen McMillan had a career high in reception last week. We're watching Mike Evans in that Falcons game. He's all the way back. Chris Godwin had a couple long catches a week ago. This is a very good receiver group. And I know it's strength on strength against the Panthers secondary, which has some talented players. I think this is a rare team, the Bucs, who have more than what Carolina has in the back end. They find a way to finally get a win.
My friend from Boston College played guard for the Bucs, and he jumped. He false started quite a bit. His name was Jeremy Trueblood, and I just remember the calls because that's such a good last name, and the play-by-play was so good. Anyways, it's an aside.
Had to get Jeremy in the end zone for one of those touchdown triple plays. I've got the Carolina Panthers in this one. I will be all along 22-21 because, yes, everything that Cynthia and Greg said about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is true. Down the stretch, it has been tough for me to ignore. If it was the slightest glimpse of early season or even mid-season Bucs, I'd be confident here. But the Panthers have at least been consistent in the fact that they've been consistently inconsistent. They had nothing deep against the Seahawks, but the last Bucs game, Bryce completed most of his deep passing attempts. He was 16 of 18 within 10 yards. The blitz, which I thought was going to be a problem then, wasn't even much of a problem. I've got the Carolina Panthers, and at least that way, Greg, Gene will know that this will be his final game for the Tampa Bay Bucs.
That's true. If not, they just got to wait until Sunday. We're going to have more on that game a little later in the show. I'm excited to talk Falcons Saints. That's the game of the day on Sunday.
Woo! Deep teams in the NFC South. It's time for Who's Eating Good, presented by Applebee's. T-Mac had just 5 receiving yards last week. Does he bounce back? Hopefully more than 5, but more than 59 yards in this one.
More than 5? Yes, very good odds. No, 59. I have more than that as well. It's all about the number and percentage of the team share that he already has, which is very, very high. When you're up near that 40% mark, like making history for rookies, you're going to be a guy who's looked to you. And I think this is one of the situations where the coach can say, Dave Canales can say, hey, let's get this guy Offensive Rookie of the Year en route to winning the game. This is how they have constructed it. There are ways to target that secondary deep. I think that's I like him to have at least 70 yards, so more than 60.
All right, a bounce-back game for T-Mac. He and the Panthers are in a win-and-in playoff scenario. Similarly, so are the Baltimore Ravens and their running back, El Tractorcito.
Derrick Henry is back in the backfield in that power I formation. He'll get the carry on the toss. Gets around the corner. He's in the 20, 10, 5, touchdown! Derrick Henry! And with that run, he breaks the NFL record for the most games with 200 yards carrying and becomes the first NFL running back to crest the 200-yard mark 7 times in his career.
And that keeps the Baltimore Ravens on the in the hunt side of the AFC graphic. They win this game. Yes, it's equal to being the number 1 seed in terms of space on the graphic. Congratulations to the Ravens for that. Also, the fact that they get a game Sunday night in Pittsburgh, a winner-take-all battle for the AFC North crown, the number 4 seed in the playoffs as well. Loser leaves town. Well, maybe if the Baltimore Ravens lose, they're going to lose. They're going to leave town regardless because the game's in Pittsburgh. Lamar was back at practice for the Ravens this week. How does this one go, Greg?
It's going to go like you dream it goes.
Oh.
It's going to have the Ravens, the team you didn't see coming, making it to the playoffs in the end. Our Super Bowl pick from before the year because of Derrick Henry and everything this running game is getting going. And if Lamar Jackson's at practice, I like his chances of playing in the game, but no matter who's at quarterback, I'm taking Baltimore in this one because Derrick Henry has made me believe, in a higher power. You know what I mean? Like, this game happened right before Christmas. I was brought up in a non-religious household, so I didn't have that like something greater than the sum of their parts, something to believe in. And then I watched that performance by Derrick Henry the other night. I believe in you, Derrick Henry. There's just something about him. You took the L out of Daniel Falele, and you made this Ravens team different. Let's go, Ravens.
How do we follow that?
I don't think you can.
Well, I have Baltimore winning by 2 points, 23-21. I want to talk about the other side of the ball, which would be Kyle Hamilton. There hasn't been a ton of things on this defense that you can look to and be like, hey, they are great and elite here, except for Kyle Hamilton, who was lined up everywhere, been asked to do everything, and delivered. So I'm looking at the different things that could happen. We know that the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers wants to get the ball out quickly. We know that the running backs are a very big key. We know that the tight ends are a super big key to the way that the Steelers like to operate their offense. What does Kyle Hamilton do in all of those situations? Locks it down. And what does Kyle Hamilton provide them now without DK Metcalf there? Just a better opportunity to not let anything go behind any of the defensive backs. So I think God likes Kyle Hamilton too. He went to Notre Dame, so I'm pretty sure he likes, I think he likes God.
I'm just trying to be representative for everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Also not God. Whatever you believe in, I'm sure Kyle Hamilton is involved in that as well.
Representation for all, including the blasphemy community. I've got the 24-20 win for the Baltimore Ravens. It's difficult to underscore how big of an absence. Yeah, like no DK Metcalf. Easy to see. That's why you're throwing 3 balls consecutively to MVS against Denzel Ward. But probably and literally the biggest absence was Darnell Washington in this game. He actually played 3 plays with a broken arm.
What?
But the team rush EPA this season.
Not worth it.
Yeah. But they need him. They go from 0.7 in rush EPA to negative 6.6 when he's not on the field. They lose almost a half a yard per carry. The success rate goes from 47 to 42% in the run game. And yeah, the passing game, a lot of the Steelers' offense looks like it did against the Cleveland Browns. So I've got Baltimore in this one and advancing to the postseason. We're just getting started.
Away. The Steelers and Mike Tomlin, they got us right where they want us here.
I think maybe a significant portion of Steelers fans would prefer to lose the game. So I'm right there with you guys. We're getting rolling here on Game Day View. Up next, Caleb and the Bears have their eyes on the 2 seed in the NFC, but the mighty Lions are coming to town. Does Ben Johnson take care of business against his old boss? Our picks for Lions-Bears next. With NFL Plus, keep the NFL in reach. Stream live, local, and primetime games on mobile, including Super Bowl 60, NFL Network, live game audio, and more. With NFL Plus Premium, get more football with game replays and NFL Pro. Sign up today at plus.nfl.com/network. Terms and conditions apply. Time for Seize the Season, presented by Caesars Sportsbook. As we look at the first touchdown score odds between the Lions and the Bears, it is Jahmyr Gibbs and DeAndre Swift leading the way with Kyle Monangai, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and DJ Moore rounding out that group. Let's dive into this matchup. The Bears would win the number 2 seed. With a win, the Lions are out of the playoff, but we know that Dan Campbell likes to have these late season wins that they don't necessarily need, especially against his protege, Ben Johnson. How do things go, Cynthia?
I hate this result because it's just a 1-point win for Chicago. My heart says it's going to be like a 12-point win for Chicago, but the math says 24-23. Let's talk about Colson Loveland because I like the Bears better in this matchup. He's kind of becoming a huge factor in this offense, especially as we've seen Rome Odunze not be available. This is a really important guy to keep an eye on. Good news, he's also went to college in a great state of Michigan, so it's good for him that he, can help out I'm not going to make Michigan jokes because the Bears are just better. But ultimately, I'm looking at him going forward, and he'll be a huge key to the playoffs. Where he is on the field, the blocking, all of the different areas that he's helping out in, he is really living up to the people are like, what, is he going to be better than Tyler? Who cares? I think eventually who knows if he'll be better or not than Tyler Warren. I just think he's really good and he'll help them in the playoffs a ton.
I went back and forth with this one. At first I thought I could imagine a world where Detroit has one last moment of glory. But then I thought back to that week 2 game, and I thought the Bears are going to get their revenge. They're going to start their revenge tour of this entire division and all the teams that have been taking them apart for years with their old boss, Dan Campbell, at least Ben Johnson's old boss. In that game, in week 2, Jared Goff ended up with 5 touchdowns. They put a 50-burger on him. The game was a little closer than the final score would indicate, but Dan Campbell's going for 4th downs, as Dan Campbell does, to get that number over 50. I think the Lions are too good to allow a blowout, but I think the Bears and Ben Johnson, they're made of the real stuff here, and they want to play the Packers next week. And so you got to win this game, clinch that 2 seed, and set up that matchup against the Packers so they can keep destroying the NFC North. Well,
you make a great point, Greg, and looking back at Jared Goff having those 5 touchdowns and the video of Jahmyr Gibbs running down the field by himself, I've got the Detroit Lions in this one. By 3, 24-21. The Bears are the better team. The Lions are hurt and sad and considering how to improve things for 2026, like a lot of people are this time of year. But I'll ride with Jarrett because he's good enough for Detroit and he's good enough for me. It was back in week 2 when he ripped apart this defense. Greg highlighted it. He completed 12 of 14 on play action for almost 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Sure, they were dialing up the scoreboard late because they could. And I think they could do it again this time. And I'll have Dan Campbell and the Lions get another Week 18 win because that's what they do in Detroit. Seize the Season brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook. New users can get their first bet matched up to $250, win or lose. Must be 21 or older. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms.
Allen puts a man in motion. Allen looks. He's back. He's firing. And it is incomplete. The Eagles win. The Eagles win. Now there's 5 seconds on the clock, but the Eagles are going to win. He threw a pass for Shakir, and it wasn't even close. The Eagles put the pressure on him. They're going to win.
It wasn't pretty, but the Eagles held on for the win last week in Buffalo. They've got the Commanders Sunday with a win and a Bears loss. Philly could move up to that number 2 seed. How do you see it going, Cynthia?
I don't think Philadelphia leaves this one to chance. I know they're not necessarily starting everyone or playing everyone. Some rest is going on here, but 26-17 is where the model landed, even with all that's up in the air. But what I'm looking for in this game is how the running backs are being used. The concepts are the same, even if the players are different. I do think we see the Tank Bigsby come in. What, he had 2 touches last week? That's awesome. But he did have a nice game against the Commanders when they met the first time. I just want to see what this offense, from run concepts to the passing concepts that come off of those run concepts, I want to see a very nicely called game against a defense that is super vulnerable. So this is where, if you're an Eagles fan and you've been questioning your OC, this is where I'm looking to see what the strategy is. Because you've now known who's playing now since, I don't know, whenever they just made that decision, and now you need to get them ready. This is where, if you're gonna not like your OC, don't do it like week 3 when nothing really mattered. They're still in the position, they won the division, like stop being mad at him. Look at the concepts now, because going forward is all that matters.
Yeah, and I think an opportunity for guys to get rest is going to be good. They can evaluate the backups, and when the backups have played, especially Tank Bigsby, things have gone great for the Philadelphia Eagles. In fact, it happened in a game against the Washington Commanders when he only had 4 carries, but he got 37 yards, including a 22-yarder and a touchdown. That's because Saquon was able to have success on the ground, something they've been able to do better late this season. They're not the 2024 Philadelphia Eagles on the ground by any stretch of the imagination. But with the backups in, they can get healthy against a bad team. That's what they did last time. I think that's what they do this time, Greg.
Yeah, they did it in Week 18 against the Giants a year ago. Their starting quarterback on that day was Tanner McKee. You know who wouldn't have missed that wide open throw like Josh Allen did at the end of that game? Tanner McKee, one of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL. When he's come in, I mean, look at that statuesque quarterback back there. He can see over the line of scrimmage. You don't have any of those sorts of problems. He's really good in terms of his decision making. An okay athlete, but it's more about the timing and the accuracy, and whether it's been preseason or regular season or some fill-in play like you're seeing here against the Raiders. He can run that offense, and I think it's a good enough team that even their backups are better than the Commanders' starters. This is the height of disrespect that you can meme us away when the Eagles aren't even really trying to win this game.
Are the Commanders trying to win it, though?
I mean, they're trying to win as much as they've won all year, but you're right, Josh Johnson probably starting at quarterback for them.
But they're so banged up, too. I don't think they're sitting there and be like, play your hardest, get hurt.
Top to bottom, everybody's trying hard. Still to come, the AFC could run through Denver, Colorado. Bo Nix and the Broncos can lock down the #1 seed Sunday against the Chargers. But you know Jim Harbaugh's got something up his sleeve, despite maybe it's the team, because a lot of guys won't be playing. Who's winning the AFC West Showdown? We'll tell you when we come back on Game Day View. Back here on Game Day View, let's look at the AFC #1 seed clinching scenarios. The Broncos win, they've got it. If the Patriots win, they need Denver to lose. And if the Jags win, they need losses by both other teams, the Broncos and the New England Patriots. So let's talk about that first game, Chargers-Broncos. Denver could lock in the AFC playoffs home opportunity all the way through, all the way until the Super Bowl. The Bolts planning to rest Justin Herbert, but Denver's kind of been struggling lately, Greg. How do you see things going?
Kind of struggling is maybe overstating it a little bit, and they're not going to be struggling after this Sunday. It's going to be Denver winning big 31-17 in terms of the number. This is one of my favorite picks of the week because I don't think Trey Lance and this Chargers offensive line have enough firepower to hold up over 60 minutes. Now, Trey Lance maybe is the backup version of Justin Herbert in that I think he can make a very faulty offensive line look better, put out some good film, and ultimately help his NFL career, because he looked good in the preseason, and when he stepped in there, it looks like a different Trey Lance. Jim Harbaugh is a great guy to have in your corner if you're a quarterback. The problem is, we've seen these Chargers starters on the offensive line. Can you imagine what the backups are going to look like? And you're going to be playing a Broncos team that needs this win to get the 1 seed. Last year, in a similar spot, the Broncos beat the Chiefs' backups 38-0. So I think they know how to beat another team's backups in the division.
We have exactly the same margin. I have 27-13, so you're 14 points, right? Yeah, I thought that's what you had. Anyways, I do want to talk about that Denver defense for a second because you talked about what happens against backups. I think that the number could be lower in terms of the number of points scored for the Chargers. I don't think the Broncos will take their foot off of the gas. You are absolutely right. But I don't think that this defensive front is sitting here being like, they need to get it back and feeling good. Like that loss to the Jags probably made them feel a little wonky. But I think when you're looking at going forward, it's like, all right, let's get like Vance Joseph wants a job. And how do you get a job? You go out there and you show everybody how you take care of business.
And they could take care of that business and show everybody, but then I think the game continues, and maybe the Chargers get some garbage time opportunities. I think the Trey Lance disrespect has gone too far. I've got a 3-point Broncos win with some late scores. And I think a lot of the game goes to R.J. Harvey. And it's a drawn-out slugfest where the Broncos get a lead and they try to sit on it. Maybe there's some hilarity late where the Chargers score. But it's a lot of points in the division. But I do think the Broncos win and lock up that #1 seed. But how about a guy who's caught 39 passes out of the backfield? He's number 4 in that season long. Hasn't even started the whole season. So congratulations, a great rookie year for R.J. Harvey. The game expected to be one of the lowest scoring games of the week, according to our friends at Caesars. Here's a look at the rest as the Packers and the Vikings leading the way. 35 total is expecting some Clayton Tune going up against Brian Flores' defense in that one. Bringing us to the 2-minute drill presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Let's make some quick picks here on Game Day View. The Dolphins and the Patriots. New England could get the #1 seed with a win and a Broncos loss to Trey Lance and the Chargers. Does Mike Vrabel's side take care of their side of that? Right?
I think they're going to win. I think that number, 10.5, is way too big, but I think Drake May ultimately keeps that MVP campaign going with a good final performance. He is first or second in all of the following categories: success rate, EPA per play, QBR if you want to go over to ESPN, anything you want, completion, like it's all happening. Cynthia's making a face. I don't need the numbers to tell me what my eyes tell me, which is a second-year quarterback is elevating all the players around him. Yes, he's got a great coaching staff and a bunch of teammates who are underrated, but that protection has not been good, and he's making veterans play better. He's making veterans some money.
Your eye is also looking at the numbers, though. So shout out to Greg's eyes.
A little bit.
They tell him some things. The Jags and the Titans. Jacksonville clinches the AFC South with a win. They need some other people to lose for the other thing to happen, but should they be on upset alert here?
No.
Oh.
I have a 30-18 win for Jacksonville. I want to talk about Travis Etienne because it's so interesting to show how the O-line really works with the run game in the case of the Jags. Started off strong with the run game. Then the O-line took a little dip. Then they figured some things out, made some adjustments. Then Trevor Lawrence started passing better. But the point is all of the things working together are a really good reason why it would be hard-pressed for me to imagine. Maybe it's Vrabel, but I think Liam Cohen wins Coach of the Year because of the way he's made the adjustments and now taken a team who nobody thought would win the division. And here we go. We all have them winning the division.
I think it's Kyle Shanahan if the 49ers win on.
Maybe. I mean, if it's not one of the, there's like 5 who it could be, and everyone else, it's just a big, ridiculous thing. Whatever.
Yeah, we got a full AFC South week here in Week 18. The Colts taking on the Texans. Houston still has a shot at winning the AFC South. Riley Leonard is going to start. And I would like to talk about this game, but Greg's score is bananas. So
what is it?
It's 20-4, and when you look at 20-4 and you're watching
2 safeties?
The videos, well, I'm glad you asked that question. It is not 2 safeties, actually. For the first time in the history of the NFL, we're gonna have a 1-point, 2-point conversion. So how the Colts get to 3 to 4 points? They get the field goal,
okay.
But the Texans, who only have 20, they go for 2 at 1 point.
And then someone runs it back.
No, what happens is like there's a
bad snap?
No, you intercept the ball, you're coming out of the end zone, then it gets knocked back into the end zone, and you fall on the ball, you get 1 point.
That is like next level inceptioning of the rules.
2 safeties is possible. It's one or the other.
2 safeties.
Sure. That was Derek
Stingley,
by the way, and Kamari Lassiter and Jalen Petrie. They could all be all pros on the same team.
I thought you were going to go with the 99-yard bad snap.
Same.
Somebody gets tackled in their own end zone. Folks,
I'm so confused.
You get all kinds of things here on Game Day View. Coming up, the Seahawks 49ers could be the game of the year. Seahawks always in the game of the year down the stretch here. Winner locks down the top seed in the NFC. Which players are going to shine in primetime? We're going through some props for the game's biggest stars coming up next on Game Day View.
Purdy takes the snap. He turns, play action, bootleg left. He's looking, he pumps. Now he's backpedaling. Now he tucks the ball away. He's going to run. No, he's going to throw to Juszczyk for the touchdown. Touchdown, 49ers. And a beauty. And the 49ers are back in front.
And Brock is doing the Dougie again. What an absolute playground Purdy play.
Time for more or less here on Game Day View. We got some monster matchups with huge playoff implications this weekend. So let's talk some player props in the biggest one, the Seahawks and the Niners on Saturday night. Cynthia, will CMC have more or less than 112 total yards from scrimmage?
Total.
Total.
Not just rushing.
Just total, however.
Yards from scrimmage.
More. Yeah, I don't actually care who this is against. The defense is really good for the Seahawks. But there's something about Christian McCaffrey, who should be the league's MVP, and I'm not going to stop saying that because no one will ever listen to me, and I don't have a frickin' vote. But if I did have a vote, that's who I would vote for, because no other team has created more of a win share for their team this year than Christian McCaffrey. But for him, the Niners wouldn't be in this position. So Christian McCaffrey's going to have more than that.
Let's go to a guy who might get more MVP votes than CMC. Jackson Smith-Njigba, 100 receiving yards. Does he get there, Greg?
Well, let me check my note. Oh, there we go. Sorry. I'm trying to use these hands. Let's go more for JSN. Why not? It's the final week of the season. And his transformation into a guy that does not just work the deeper parts of the field, but you can absolutely use him over the middle like this, tough catches, tougher than people think. This is where the weakness for the 49ers offense is. I think they're not going to get greedy. Timing routes, it's a lot of 10s and 12s and 14s, and JSN goes more.
Yeah, I would use the green one because the green one has a thumb, and having opposable thumbs is what makes us intrinsically human. Brock Purdy has been on fire. Will he go for over 244 passing yards in this game? I believe that he will, because I think the 49ers might need to throw a little bit. Maybe this devolves into one of those score fests like the one that they've had. I don't know, what feels like every single game they've played this season, especially after Fred Warner and the defense gets hurt. So yeah, I've got more. We got more on everything here in this game. It's expected to be one of the highest scoring games of the week. Why don't we take a look at the highest totals for Week 18, and it is the end of an era. With a number sitting at 44, the Cincinnati Bengals are not on this graphic, but the Dallas Cowboys are. They're back there at the top, 51.5 as we get to some quick picks here on Game Day View. The Jets and the Bills, Buffalo currently the 7th seed in the AFC. They could rest some starters. Do they rest some starters and get a win as well, Greg?
Absolutely. No, the Bills win this game easy.
Look at the Jets again.
I misunderstood the question. The Bills' backups and Mitch Trubisky probably enter the game at some point. Josh Allen's going to want to start. But the big story here, it's the last game.
He's going to play?
At the Ralphs.
Jim Kelly's coming out.
Jim Kelly's going to play?
He's not suiting up, but just think of all the incredible NFL moments that have happened at this stadium. Some great, like this Frank Reich comeback, the greatest in postseason history. I can't imagine a situation. That crowd is going to be insane. You could put anyone in this game for the Buffalo Bills. And let's be real, their backups, I think, are more talented and more cohesive and more well-coached than the Jets anyways. They're going to win this game. The emotion is going to be electric there. And, some great moments in history of Buffalo.
All right, the Raiders and the...
Like Jim Kelly's playing? Yeah. Great.
Everybody's coming back. The Chiefs and Raiders, I do expect a big part of Bills' history to be there. But the Vegas loss would lock them into the number 1 overall pick. Did they get the loss that they so desperately deserve? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think anyone wants to win this game. It's not good for Kansas City either, because they could go from like 8 to 12 based on some things happening. I do have them winning 19-18, a real barn burner for us all. I'm curious to see how Ashton Jeanty will fare in this one. I believe that building around him is going to be a focal point for this regime, or whatever regime is there next going forward. So evaluating the O-line, evaluating who should still be there, kind of building around Ashton Jeanty, a guy they spent so much for in terms of draft capital. That's going to be a big focal point. No Max Crosby in this one, too. Will also let them evaluate just every single position. So I think this is a good learning experience, but I think Kansas City. Look at us. 1 point for me and Greg, and 3 for Patrick. You've got them crushing.
We do not like a lot of points.
No, we don't. We don't like points.
And barn burner, an appropriate analogy, because the phrase originated with the folks' desire to burn an institution in order to fix small problems, like somebody lighting a barn on fire to get rid of rats. The Bengals and the Browns. Cleveland upset the Steelers last week, while Cincy has won 2 games in a row. The battle for Ohio. I've got the Bengals winning 23-20, but I want to talk about Myles Garrett. He's been limited to a half a sack in his last 2 games on 61 pass rushes. He's been chipped or double-teamed on 26 of those pass rushes. Famously one away from the all-time single-season record
Come on, just get it.
sacks in a season where his compensation was a huge discussion. In terms of guarantees, he's number 17 in the NFL.
Whoa.
14 players of those ahead of him play quarterback. Every single one of them that Myles Garrett has played this season, he's sacked.
Whoa.
All due respect to primetime, the minister of the defense, Aaron Donald, and yes, Greg, J.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, the best I've seen play defense.
Imagine how many sacks he would have if he were on a team that was playing with a lead.
It would be a lot more.
He's done it in a lot fewer snaps, so that's why I don't want to hear anything about the 17th week, and he's going to get it.
Stop complaining about the number of games, unless, of course, you play football, which you probably should be complaining about the number of games. Don't look now, but Saints-Falcons is one of the best games of the week. Both teams are on heaters. Tyler Shuck might be legit, and if Atlanta wins, the Panthers are going to the playoffs, no matter what happens on Saturday. How bananas is that? All that and more coming up on Game Day View next. Back on Game Day View, it's time for The Read, presented by Microsoft Copilot. Microsoft Copilot, your AI companion for NFL Game Day and every day. We asked Copilot to pick the one player that could flip the momentum of the Saints-Falcons game, and Copilot went with quarterback Tyler Shuck. Mentions that the Saints offense has surged with the rookie under center, jumping to 27.1 points per game over the last 3 weeks. Shuck has also been successful in his downfield passing. Saints and Falcons suddenly becomes interesting. Atlanta shocked the Rams Monday night, while the Saints have won 4 straight. If Atlanta wins, it would clinch the NFC South for Carolina. So who gets the win here, Cynthia?
Well, Atlanta gets the win 23-21, which therefore means that the Panthers go to the playoffs. So that's interesting. I just want to take a moment and talk about Bijan Robinson, because what he did on a really amazing game against the Rams in prime time, it just goes to show that sometimes everything you know about football can be wrong, because we all thought that, not that he wouldn't have a good game, but we thought that the Rams would easily win this game, and they proved us wrong. And part of that was because Bijan Robinson just totally took control of this game in many ways, the same he has in other games that maybe weren't on in primetime, or potentially the defense. I don't care, but maybe we need to give him a little bit more love than we have been.
Yes, significantly. In terms of the MVP conversation and all that, winning goes into a whole lot, but there's only so much you can do in a game where there's 22 guys on the field. I've got the Falcons as well, 24-19. Just off of the surge that has been the Falcons franchise once they've essentially been eliminated. But look at what the defense was able to do against Matthew Stafford, where Jesse Bates got back to his turnover-producing ways. Xavier Watts looked good in that game, where I know Tyler Shuck has been gifted, but the opportunity for Kirk Cousins to turn around and hand the ball to Bijan Robinson, potentially get a touchdown on any given play, not the same opportunity for Tyler Shuck in the Saints offense. Game's in Atlanta. I've got Atlanta here, Greg.
I've got Atlanta too, but it's more about the spectacle. This is the greatest rivalry in the NFL. The fans truly hate each other. The NFC South is so stupid as a division, and they're gonna reach peak stupidity on Sunday when these two teams are playing by proxy to decide a division championship that neither one of them can win. It's the most Falcons Saints thing ever, and in the middle of it, there's all these great stories. Can Tyler Shuck get into the offseason on a big winning streak and win Offensive Rookie of the Year? I don't care how well he plays in this game. I don't think you should win Offensive Rookie of the Year if you've only played half the season. It's stupid. Just give the award to T-Mac or Harold Fannin or someone else. I think it's a stupid idea. Raheem Morris is trying to save his job.
I think he saved it on Monday night.
We'll see. If they lost a bad game to the Saints, that could leave a bad impression. And man, I just want the Bucs to win on Saturday to just set up the situation where, like, Jason Light and the Bucs are rooting for this Saints team that he was trash talking on Twitter earlier in the season. It's just a strange, messy division, and if you love mess, this is the game of the year.
ahead of the season.
You've inceptioned something.
Yes.
Perhaps these NFL postseason awards are logically inconsistent. Let's get some more quick picks here on Game Day View. The Cardinals and Rams. LA was shocked Monday night in Atlanta. The Sean McVay's team bounced back, right?
They do. Sean McVay says they will play their starters in this game. Now, do they play all 4 quarters? We'll find out. Their running game will get it done no matter who is back there. They're really well coached, so you can only bench so many guys on the offensive line. You only have so many guys who are even available to play for you. So Kyren Williams, Blake Corum, maybe they get some carries in this game. I could see a big Ronnie Rivers game. This Cardinals defense, their season actually ended a month ago. They just didn't tell anyone. They're just giving up 40 points a week.
Last one, the Packers and the surging Vikings. Green Bay locked into the 7th seed. They could be resting some guys. How's it go?
I have Green Bay keeping it very close. Minnesota only winning by 120-19. I just didn't think we could get through this entire show and not talk about how much money Malik Willis made himself in for good reason last week. When I'm looking at the opportunity in the offseason for teams to find quarterbacks, the fact that Phillip Rivers was playing this year tells you that there aren't 32 qualified people to do that in the world. So I'm looking forward to what happens next year for Malik Willis, a guy who kind of rehabbed his situation, got into a better, really put some good film on tape here, and I just want to give him some credit because it's not easy in that situation, and he made it look easy. So there we go.
Yeah, congratulations to Malik Willis. Let's go to the Cowboys and Giants. Dak versus Dart. I've got the Cowboys winning 24-22. And Cynthia, if you would like to talk about somebody who's changed scenery, improved his circumstances, and may see a significant financial boost, why don't we introduce one George Pickens of the Dallas Cowboys, having a spectacular season, has more yards getting slants than anybody in the NFL. But it's not just slants. It's the full route tree. We see them everywhere on the field. And despite one unfortunate Thursday night, George Pickens has played very well all season. Looking forward to what his comments.
That last highlight, someone's cell phone camera? It's like real shaky.
You know, sometimes there's a lot going on the field. George Pickens doing a lot of stuff. Maybe he actually filmed that somehow because he does all kinds of stuff on the football field. When we come back, it's time for Write This Down. It's our favorite player props for Week 16. Don't forget, a lot of guys trying to get some bonus incentives this weekend, so it's gonna be spicy. Will we have a lineman get in the end? That's it. No, nobody's
Cody Ford over half a yard?
Yes. Write this down when we come back on Game Debut.
Here's the snap out of the gun. Play action fake. Pass to Gronkowski. He's going to score a touchdown. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Holy guacamole. He breaks the record. He's got his 23rd touchdown in the postseason from Tom Brady. There's the snap. Mahomes running to his right. Look out. He may run. Mahomes directly. Goes toward the end down. Batted to intercepted. Picked off in the end zone. Bucs are going to beat the Chiefs. Bucs win. Bucs win. Bucs win the Super Bowl 55. And there the cannons come. Fire them. Keep on firing them. Keep on firing them. Celebrate, Buccaneer fans. Hoist that Lombardi.
Getting a chance to call 2 Buccaneers Super Bowls over the 37 years he's been calling games for the team. Congratulations to a great career for Gene Deckerhoff, leading us in to Write This Down as we get to our favorite player prop predictions for Week 18. Why don't you start for us, Greg?
So Week 18 is an opportunity. You might see confusion. I see clarity. And I see Ray Davis, a guy we've never mentioned on this show. The Buffalo Bills' third-string running back going over 29.5 rushing yards. You think they want to use James Cook in this game against the Jets? But do you think they're going to lose? No. They're going to run the ball all over the Jets. Forget 29.5. I could jack that up to about 89.5. It's going to be the Ray Davis game. He covers this thing easy.
Okay, so you got to our producer before us, so mine is a Derrick Henry touchdown against the Steelers. Seems very likely to happen. I also wanted to add an A.J. Barner over 37 receiving yards because, you know, the Barnyard Dog is our favorite player on this show. So add that.
Oh, wow.
Little bonus.
I am on a struggle bus right now with Write This Down. We're 6 total yards keeping me for my last 2 weeks in being successful in Write This Down, but I believe in Zach Charbonnet. Going over 42 rushing yards against the 49ers Sunday. He outgained Kenneth Walker last week. He's done it a few times this season. Greg's shaking his head.
Well, that's because I had Kenneth Walker last week, and he came up a few yards short.
Yeah.
Zach took him.
That's
right church, wrong pew.
we're back to faith.
Back around.
We're back to faith.
The universe loves you all.
All I'm saying is you watch Derrick Henry running down the field in a big-time game, and you will believe in the power of something greater than yourself.
Yes, Derrick Henry is greater than me.
And more powerful. I can't wait for this game.
It's great to be spending time with all you guys. Hopefully your new year was great. Thanks for watching Game Debut. For Cynthia and Greg, I'm Patrick. We'll see you next time.